Joining us now in Studio B is the sophomore quarterback, Zach Wilson. This is one of our favorite days because we get to talk to the guys, the who's who of BYU football. They just shuttle them in here to us. It's one of our favorite days.
That's what we want every day, but they only let us do it one day. Yeah.
He's QB1. He's number one in your hearts, and now he's number one on his jersey. Zach, welcome to Studio B.
Zach?
I appreciate it. You guys always having me on.
It's been a long time. It's been like a month to the day since Nashville,
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
Which was a fun trip.
It's quick. They said, oh, you got to go with them again. I don't know. Okay, whatever.
Fine, yeah. Being the starting quarterback, this is what you have to do. So last year, we weren't hanging out as much. Now we're hanging out.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2019. Anytime you throw a football now, it's news on the internet. So what's that like?
Yeah, I'm going to start throwing with my left hand, so people are like, geez, he looks terrible. Like, this is not going to be good. But no, but it's cool. I mean, a lot of people are just excited for the season. I know I am for sure, and it's exciting to get back into throwing and stuff. So
now, for some reason, when you said throwing with your left hand, I don't doubt that you could do that. I saw Patrick Mahomes do it in a Monday Night Football game, for crying out loud. Quarterbacks are expected to do everything these days.
yeah, I mean, I told a couple of the receivers, I was like, I'm just going to throw this whole offseason with my left hand just so I can get it good enough. But then this one started hurting because I have a torn labrum on this side too. So then it was just not good to not do anything with that one.
Did you have surgery on that one as well?
No, but I will eventually. I just don't know when. I mean, I don't throw with it, so it's kind of like I don't really need it.
Gotcha.
So you can just play through that. Does it hurt?
Yeah, I mean, it's super weak. That was the biggest problem is like lifting wise. It's hard. It's not near, like my right arm's a lot stronger than my left one is already. It just sucks as far as recovery goes. I can't push myself upper body wise just because of my left arm now.
So when can you get to kind of full lifting extension, right?
Yeah, I mean, for just because I'm a quarterback, the doctor doesn't want me doing any bench press, cleaning, snatching. I probably won't ever snatch again the rest of my life just because that's just so much stress on the shoulders. But I've just been doing a ton of, football, quarterback lifting stuff, tons of dumbbells, bands, all that kind of stuff. But like as far as the benching and cleaning goes, probably nothing until next year.
So Nu'u is not a fan of that news, probably, right?
Probably not, no.
Sorry, Coach. I can't.
Yeah.
Doctor's
Really?
orders.
No, serious,
orders.
I can't. Yeah.
Yep.
Zach Wilson with us on BYU Sports Nation. Jaron mentioned the social media that has kind of taken over whenever you throw a football. We saw you throwing a ball around with your dad in the backyard. And then
He's got a great release.
Oh, my gosh.
Like, I am really impressed by Big Mike's throwing motion here.
That's funny.
Did he teach you how to throw the ball? Are you going to give him credit for that?
He did, but he's got way too big of a head. I wouldn't tell him he can throw. See, that one was low. No, so I mean, my mom posted it. One of my brothers was like, you threw a low ball. And he was like, why would you post that one? He goes, you couldn't have posted one of me throwing it better. And my mom's like, no one's paying attention to you.
We are. My wife's the same way.
Funny.
She's like, I need to approve the media that you put out of me. I'm like, that's fair.
That's
fair.
funny.
Yeah. You said you're going to be 100% by fall camp instead of the program. So I guess what can you do now in PRPs, and what are you kind of limited in at the moment?
Yeah, so I already started taking reps and PRPs and stuff. I'm just trying to, get in there, get a flow for the offense, and, get back there and get used to just taking the reps again and what it's like to command the offense. And, even if I can't chuck it way down the field, I'm still throwing all the short stuff and getting my footwork right, all that kind of stuff. And so I'm just trying to take part and help be a leader and push these guys along.
What's your typical day like in the summer right now?
Yeah, right now it's a lot just because with the shoulder and everything, I'm doing rehab stuff in the morning, and then we got BYU workouts 1 to 4, and implementing more of strengthening kind of stuff and instead of the bands and mobility stuff in the morning. And then later in the day, a couple times a week, I'm doing weighted balls, tons of med ball throwing stuff, calculating like my speed, how fast I can throw, just working on that repetition of throwing, doing tons of throwing stuff later in the day. And I think that's going to help me a lot since I've started doing that the last couple weeks. My progression has been huge since I started doing that.
How fast do you throw a football?
Shoot, I threw it 39 miles per hour yesterday. I don't know if that's good.
What's real? I don't know either.
I don't know. I mean, for a baseball, that's awful.
Right. That would be terrible.
Well, a football's a little bit bigger than a baseball, so.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'll have to look at. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. How have you handled all of the pressure that comes with being the starting quarterback at BYU? Are you 19? Mm-hmm. You'll be 20 in August, right?
Yep.
So you're a teenager and you're the front man of the program. How have you handled all this?
Yeah, I just have to look back and just be like, I'm a kid just like everybody else. I mean, people make it a bigger deal than I think it is. I mean, I used to make it a bigger deal when I would see, Tanner Mangum. I think I was a little kid when Tanner was playing. So it was it was different coming here. I thought it would be different than what it is, but at the same time, I just look at it, I'm just a kid like anybody else, and so I just have to approach it like that. I can't let my head get too big or think, oh, I'm the man because I play in college football. I mean, it's not like I've proved anything or done anything yet. So
19 years young, and yet you are in this situation where you got to go to rehab. And I know I asked you about your daily schedule, but when you do get to rehab, what types of things are you doing, and how does that all work out?
Yeah, I mean, tons of bands, strengthening stuff, starting to do things with weights. A lot of the biggest thing is getting that mobility back. The shoulder's just not used to moving. It's just been stuck in that one position for 4 months or whatever it is. So I just have to, loosen up the scar tissue, doing a lot of stabilizing stuff, whether it's, the coaches tapping on the shoulder or me doing, rolling the ball up on the wall or throwing on the rebounder, that kind of stuff. And so that's been a huge contributor, just all those small muscles, just getting those small muscles firing.
Yeah, and we saw some of this yesterday in an Instagram post.
Yeah.
It seems very meticulous and very methodical.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's weird that, just the 1st of June, they told me I couldn't throw a ball at all, and now I've come this far, and what is today, the 18th or whatever it is, and so just in 18 days, I've been able to progress a lot, so I can't wait to see what the next month and a half is going to be like.
How comfortable did you end up feeling after starting 7 games to prepare you for this season?
Yeah, I mean, I told someone one time, obviously it's not this drastic, but in high school, when I got my first chance, almost worked out the same way. I ended up starting halfway through the season because I got a chance to play in my sophomore year, and at that time, it was just kind of like you're just running the plays called. You're not looking at the defense much. Like you're just hopping straight into it. And then, my senior year comes and, you feel like you can do anything. I can make any throw. I'm in control of the entire offense. And, honestly, going into those last couple games, it had that same kind of feel to it. I felt so comfortable back there. And I felt like I had, my reads down along with the offense. And, of course, it's not that big. I don't feel like I've progressed that much, but I just feel like there's so much I can learn and that I'm trying to input into my game for this next year. And so I'm so excited just to jump into fall camp, being full speed and just being able to, take it one day at a time with the coaches and us talking and communicating and just being like, okay, these are the kind of things you can do. And, just deciding how much say I can have in things. And of course I'm gonna bug them all the time, I'm sure, just because I'm one of those kids that always wants to be able to do more and talk to them about every little thing.
Do you know your completion streak right now?
I don't.
It's more than 18.
What is it?
It's 19.
I actually threw an incompletion in the backyard the other day. I don't know if that counts. Me and my dad were playing catch. I kind of threw it at the ground, but
in that video,
yeah.
Or
the one they missed. A couple throws before that on the warm up.
That's funny. So against Utah, you threw an incompletion, I think, on the second to last pass.
Gotcha.
So it's 19 right now.
Yeah.
Is that the streak that's like out of your? Is that on your mind? Like when you go into the Utah game, are you gonna be like, oh man, on an incompletion?
No, I mean, to be honest, I have not even thought about the streak in the slightest. I think it's more of just the game film. Mm-hmm. I'm really not a huge into stats person, but kind of just more of the flow of the game. I mean, somebody could have terrible stats, but they played a good, solid game, just wasn't in their favor or whatever it is. So I'm just trying to look from the film perspective. Even completing 18 passes, there were still so many better throws I could have made. There was a lot of things I had missed. I could have done so much better.
How does opening the season against Utah change your approach in the offseason?
Yeah, I mean, this last year I wasn't as heavy into film study, and I think that was just because I was new. I hadn't learned as much yet. I don't know if it changes it because it is Utah, but I'm taking my film study from January up until the first game just to make sure I'm ready. I'm going to use every second I have because I remember last year, you're starting on Sunday and then you have until that Saturday to prepare for the game. So it's just like it's a great opportunity to be able to say you have an entire year to prepare for them now. And so, I hope the guys on the team are taking advantage of it. I think a lot of them are because I know Utah probably is too. So a lot of us need to make sure we're ready for this game.
You were sort of a coach of sorts in the spring as you sat out with your shoulder injury. So Jaron Hall got a chance to take more reps, which is probably in the end beneficial for the program in a great way. Give us an idea of what Jaron Hall is capable of.
No, he's a great athlete. Jaron's a super good athlete, and he's he obviously showed that he can be a great quarterback here at BYU as well. And I know he's got a chip on his shoulder. And I know going into fall camp, we're going to push each other back and forth. And, of course, we want the best for each other. But, football is a competitive game, and both of us are going to compete for what we want. And, I think that's what we need, because I'm going to make him better. He's going to make me better. And that's what we need. No one can get complacent thinking the job is just theirs.
How has your overall experience at BYU to this point maybe been different than what you expected it might be?
Yeah, the overall experience has been really good. The school is really hard. That's one thing I've noticed. Just school is super hard here, but I would say the atmosphere is honestly really cool. I love all the guys on the team. I love the direction we're heading. I know last year a lot of guys maybe didn't buy in as much as they should have, but I know going into this year, you can tell the team is coming closer, and we have guys wanting to step up and lead this team. And it's cool to see, just in a year, people like really are starting to believe. They're like, oh my gosh, like we can be a good team. And so people are like, starting to prepare more and bring guys together with them and wanting to do extra. And so it's really cool to see, and it just makes me believe even more like how dominant we can be this year.
We were told that Patrick Mahomes has thrown a football as high as 62 miles an hour. So there's the standard.
You're on your way.
On my way.
Topped out at 60. Sorry.
So I'm halfway there.
A little more.
You're on your way.
Oh, talking to Fesi Sitake this morning, he talked about his relationship with you and how you went up to a Weber State camp, I think going into your freshman year or something, and how he thought at first, like, oh, I wonder if this kid can make it, and said, oh, his evolution's been amazing. So kind of a fun journey with Fesi, who's now the wide receiver coach here.
Yeah, I remember when Coach Fess offered me at the end of a camp, and I just remember being so excited and so shocked. And I, from that day, I had so much respect for Coach Fessy, and that was a huge reason why I ended up coming here to BYU, is because of him. And, he's like a father figure to me, and I know he really does have my back and all that stuff. And so, that was a crazy, he gave me an amazing opportunity. I was, 140 pounds shorter at the time. Didn't even have armpit hair yet. I mean, it was a huge changing out, starting to. But yeah, it was a huge, crazy experience. And, he believed in me from the beginning. So when he got the job over here, I was just like, you just put things behind you as much as you might have hated BYU growing up. I would love to play for someone like Coach Fess.
You are a student of the game. Let's finish with this. Has there been a BYU quarterback that you've wanted to pattern yourself after as you watched from a distance, whether it be
even though you were a
way
Utah
back
guy
when,
up?
or maybe a guy that's more recent? How would you answer that question?
I don't know. I never really watched a ton of them. I think John Beck was a really good one, just because I know he was pretty athletic. He still had a lot of athleticism, but he was a great thrower. He had a lot of command of the offense. He had a lot of things going right. I read the Steve Young book. I loved that book. That's probably my favorite book. And it was cool to see how his progression came all the way through college to not being very good, and then to getting so much better, and then, leading these guys. And he was a great athlete as well. So I think between those two, it'd be a great, people to mentor myself over.
John will tell you that he threw a ball 61 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's what he'll tell you. Exactly.
I believe it, though, honestly, still. He's got a great arm still.
Yeah, he's awesome. Awesome. Well, sweet. Thanks for coming in. Let's give you some BYU Sports Nation karma. Good luck with the recovery. And, we'll see you in fall camp, man.
Yeah, thank you.
72 days away from Utah.
72 days away.
Can't wait.